Okay. 10.
10 seconds. Go Michigan.
Woo!
Who do you guys play?
We're playing Iowa. See you there, Indianapolis.
4-time with Myriad. You have Jared.
And Anna.
We are back. Today we are going to be talking about
the holiday season.
Holidays. So we just we try not to time ourselves out with these, but this is something that we can translate into future holiday seasons as well.
There's always something.
So we just finished Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And how is your fitness journey after Thanksgiving?
My personal fitness journey is a little weird after Thanksgiving because I was just on jury duty for 2 days.
I forgot about that.
I feel like typically I just kind of get back to moving after Thanksgiving and just treat it like a normal time. I think this is an easy time of year to fall into a little bit of a rut, especially for those of us in the Midwest or anywhere cold. It's cold, it's dark, it's easy to, if you're like a morning workout person, to stay snuggled up in bed, or if you're an evening workout person, it's dark by the time work gets off and it can be hard to motivate yourself to get into the gym. So I just try to stay moving.
Yes. Sorry, I'm waving at someone right now who is in. I'll come back to you later. Sorry, we're back.
We're back.
We're here. Yes, so same. Yeah. Everything you just shared in the sense of it is challenging holidays.
Yeah.
Sometimes in holidays, I find myself just wanting to do nothing.
Yeah.
And just taking that time off.
Totally.
Because rest is important. Quick question for you. When you rest and take like a holiday rest, how many days in a row do you feel comfortable resting before you start feeling like I have to do something?
That's a great question. I would say
the only questions I have are great.
3 days, maybe. But I will also share, I feel like our baseline life is kind of active. We have 3 dogs, and that means a lot of walks, especially at the holidays, because they get antsy too. Like if we're traveling to family that maybe don't have the same yard setup that we do, I feel like I do get that itch scratched a little bit just by virtue of what our life is like.
Yes.
How about you?
So you're talking about some actions there, which I love of what we can do.
I'm ahead of schedule.
Yeah, I find myself after probably like 3 days, I like get this, and like not physically coming in and exercising or physically going outside, that I just like sweat is like I need to sweat. Like I'm not sweating, and I feel like my pores are just like getting clogged up because I'm not sweating. I know it's this weird thing with me. But yeah, this like specific Thanksgiving, for example, like I found myself bored a few times, which was great, but also like I need to be doing something and to be active. But at the same time, living at the gym here at Myriad, sometimes I actively try not to come in, just that kind of be away from the space a little bit. That way when I come back into space, I'm re-energized. I love the classes, I love the workouts. And I know a lot of members feel that way as well. What are some actual actions that you do during these ups and downs through the holidays? You talked about walking the dogs.
Yeah.
Anything else that like you do specifically to help you with your fitness, and like, because at the end of the day, your physical fitness is going to help your mental fitness.
Totally.
And it's all about your mental fitness to be the best version of yourself.
I would say that outside of the walks, a few things that I do, I still try to really focus on hydration. Vegetables are also something I really try during the holidays to get.
What are those?
Carrots, celery, all that good stuff. Ew, celery's gross.
Stuffing.
I don't know why I said celery. But I try to focus on those couple of things, so I'm not like totally dragging in that realm. Now, that does not mean that I'm not also smashing cookies, but trying to get some of those veggies and water in. And then also doing little home workouts, whether that's, 5 minutes of burpees. We're lucky enough to have a bike at home. My husband's family has a rower in their house, so definitely not getting in like a full 60-minute workout, but something that takes like 5 to 15 minutes just to get like a little bit of something going. or stretching is another
Yeah.
thing that I'll do, especially when there's like a lot of laying around, maybe watching movies, just kind of hanging around. I'll try to like, I'm just gonna like lay on the floor and stretch while this is going on.
Yeah. No, I love that. It's similar realm. I've been using rucking a little bit more often.
Yeah.
And so one of the things I found myself doing a lot during this past break was, rather than like stressing out about getting into the gym, it's just like, it's just gonna be so much easier with the kids, just to go outside right now and do something for 20 minutes, whether it's, and sometimes I get bored with just a 20-minute run, and so I would put on either, I have a backpack I can load about 40 pounds into and take that on a ruck walk, go on an actual walk with that. One of the things that's been super successful for me is efficiencies. And so walking the dog, ruck with a backpack on, while listening to a podcast, while nasal breathing, has been like, what is that?
4 birds.
Yeah, 4 birds
stone.
with 1 stone. So I've been so excited like that I've uncovered something. And a guy stopped me when I was walking, and he was just like, "Hey, how much weight you got in there?" I was like, 40 pounds. He's like, "That's awesome right there. He's like, rucking's like the newest thing that I love doing right now." And I'm just like,
Strap
absolutely.
your child to you, you know?
Absolutely. And I also have the Rogue weight vest, 20-pound weight vest that I throw on. Often when I throw that on, it's when I'm doing yard work. I know Kyle.
You stole that from my husband.
Kyle, your husband, does that quite often. So that's another kind of hack, is throwing that on, and then your yard work, mowing the lawn, doing Christmas lights. It feels like a workout. Same thing walking the dog. Throw on a weight vest. I think they're like $150 on Rogue.com. Not that we're sponsored by Rogue, but there you go. But it's super, super helpful to feel like you're doing something. You're doing more than just being outside, more than just walking. Because that's always been my problem, has been like going for a walk is good and it gets me moving, but it doesn't feel like a workout. But as soon as I add a little bit of load to it, it now feels like a workout.
Yeah, fair. I think the other thing that I encourage people to think about during the holidays is kind of what we talked about at the beginning is, it should be rest. Like we are allowed to take rest, and if that means that your walk is just a walk, like that's okay. But if you are someone who's like looking for more, then these are some great options to throw into the mix. What's your feelings on like the nutrition side of things?
Yeah. So I go hard on the holidays in the sense of just eat whatever I want. We did cinnamon rolls, I think Thanksgiving morning, and then obviously had Thanksgiving, the meal, and then throughout the weekend, it's usually my opportunity to let my brain kind of embody, be okay with just like being okay, if that makes sense. But then as soon as I was done with that, I definitely by Sunday felt pretty awful. And so I wanted to make a change on Sunday that like I need to like set some hard, fast rules. And I know you're not necessarily a fan of it, but I went into a fast. So I do extended fast. So I usually do intermittent fasting, IMF. And I only eat certain windows or periods of time. I usually don't eat until about 10 or 11 on most weekdays. But sometimes I'll go into extended fast. So I actually went into, I think, a 40-hour fast just to kind of like reset the system, make me feel like I've reset, and now I'm in a much better place for my nutrition moving forward. It works for me. I don't necessarily recommend it for others. And I've been doing this for about 6 years now of like very direct extended fast. So it's not something I would like push on somebody.
Yeah, I think that's the important thing is like recognizing that it's going to work for some folks. And I will also say of you, like you are someone who has a lot of other things dialed in as far as like what you're eating, your fitness, your sleep. And I think what sometimes happens in the realm of fasting is people just jump straight to that without addressing some of the other things. Fasting isn't going to change your life if you're sleeping 4 hours a night and eating not the best choices. So I think it's important to recognize like that's a great thing to add in if you've got everything else kind of on lock.
And I think that's the most important part of like today's talk is it's all about tools in a tool belt.
Yeah.
It's all about having at this moment in time, I'm feeling this way. What tool do I have in a tool belt to help solve for that? And you know, meditation could be a thing, right? And like I find myself actually taking more time to myself and meditating a little bit during this holidays as well, because you have kids around, dogs around, families around, all sorts of
Lot
things.
going
It's
on.
like sometimes you just have to get away.
Especially if you're an introvert.
Yes,
I feed off of that.
That's 100% me. Is like I'm just like I need to step away from everyone. Like give me away for an hour, Caitlin. I need some time.
Yeah.
And she'll be okay with that. So.
Totally.
We'll continue to build on the tools for our tool belt within fitness, mental fitness, and within Myriad as a whole. So anything else to add?
No, I hope everyone had a great holiday with Thanksgiving, and the rest of the season is merry too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Here we come.
3, 2, 1 time.